Basically, I'm working as a system engineer in AgraVision from past 3 years, and about my career, I started my career in 2016 with Dell as a support engineer. Later on, I moved to HCL and I worked on SQL basically. And from there, after learning SQL, I got into learning big data and Nagra Vision actually gave me a chance to get into the big data role. Worked on two projects over here. One is Lowe's that is currently going on, and ANZ that is Australian New Zealand basically banking. And if I tell you about my current project, that is basically Lowe's. Basically it's an departmental store chain in US, and basically the purpose of the project is uh, getting the data, getting the data from their e-commerce website and analyzing that data, basically predicting the future trends, how the customers purchase pattern, and basically, and second major thing is fraud detection, basically like uh, which user has most kind of returns, or which location is basically getting the most number of cancellations. So if I tell you about this, by doing this fraud detection so that they can uh, minimize their returns and everything. And regarding the first point, regarding the purchase pattern detection, basically to increase their sales. Yeah.
All right. So you said it is a e-commerce related project that you have been working. So how
Yes.
come you are working on the fraud detection? Is there any necessity?
Uh, no, it's just a requirement by the client.
What is the fraud detection here in e-commerce? So what is the fraud detection and why that content is coming into the picture?
So basically, it's a requirement from the customer. Basically, they have detected a lot of returns, and from few specific areas, they have been experiencing the cancellations and returns. Basically, I think this is most common in India as well with Flipkart and Amazon. People do these type of things. So basically, their target is to save their money from this.
Fine. What kind of fraud detection that you people find out?
Focusing on the users with the most cancellations, or users with the most kind of returns and locations like that.
Okay, fine. What are the tools that generally you are using in your project?
So basically, we are using Hadoop, basically HDFS for the storage, and Hive as a part of Hadoop, and then Spark for uh, processing the data, and Scoop basically as a part of Hadoop for ingestion of data.
Okay. So I can say how many jobs you have uh, in your production.
So basically, it depends upon the data. So uh, initially, we received around about 100 to 150 GB of data during the beginning of the project, and now we get around 6 to 8 GB of data every week. So according to that, we process the data. So I can say that
You said it is
uh,
a e-commerce, right? Generally, you're supposed to process every day or every
yes,
hour.
every day.
So how come you're saying it is a weekly runs?
No, data is like received weekly, but we do process it by daily.
I didn't
Sometimes
understand
the
the
data
logic.
is
How come you receive weekly? So that is my question, because this kind of a business will run a daily basis, and customer may requires everyday processing and everyday insights. What exactly is sales and the transactions, amount, limits, etc. So
yeah. So
what is the
mhm.
object behind to process the data weekly?
So basically it depends upon the customer. So uh, they provide us the data weekly. So according to that, we only go keep on processing the data weekly basis. I'm never asked my team about this.
Hmm. Okay. So you said you have been using Scoop, right? So when the Scoop jobs will run, and what are the interval of the jobs which it will run?
Scoop jobs, whenever the data arrives, obviously, I would say that on weekly basis only the jobs will arrive, and then only the scoop jobs will run.
How many Scoop jobs you have?
Uh, so I would say around about um, 8 to 10 jobs per GB,
Hmm. Is
one
it a
job
full
per
load or
GB.
incremental?
So in the beginning, when the data arrived, it was full load, but now it is incremental load.
All the jobs will do incremental here.
Yes.
I just want to know what command that you generally use in Scoop to achieve this full load and incremental load.
Full load and incremental load.
There is a when you write a Scoop job, right? So to do a incremental load, generally we have some syntax to follow, correct? So what is the syntax for Scoop?
So basically, scoop import hyphen JDBC MySQL basically the IP address, and then the username and the password, and the hyphen table name hyphen like as CSV, or basically it comes in CSV, and hyphen target directory, hyphen fields terminated by the delimiter, and the hyphen uh, incremental load.
So there are two options, right, in Scoop while you are doing incremental load. So what are those options? Are you aware?
No.
Do you know the last modified or incremental append?
Okay. Last modified and incremental append. Yes.
Are you aware?
Yes, I am aware, but never got a chance to like work on this.
No. Since you people are doing an incremental load, so what exactly out of these two you will use?
Basically, last modified.
Hmm. So are you sure
Last.
that if any history data get changed, so how you will upset?
Um, Basically, on the basis of last modified, or uh, if in case sometimes there is some data missing, then we use the append as well, appending the data.
Hmm. Do you have any
Yeah.
separate jobs for that to append a missing data or a new data? What exactly, or the full load will itself will take care?
Um, I'm not sure about this.
Fine. So these scoop jobs, like when it loads the table or a directory, so what is the next step like you generally do?
So after ingesting the data into the HDFS, basically we like transfer the data into like Hive to convert it into the tabular format, basically into using internal and external tables in Hive.
Is it?
So external
Here, what is the
and ex
necessary that you have to use both the types of tables?
no, basically we use external tables only because internal table is basically there is a disadvantage of internal table. So basically, if in case we drop the table, then the data metadata as well as the actual data will get deleted. But in an external table, it will not get deleted. The actual data will remain there.
Okay, so you said all tables are external. So what is the file format?
File format is basically Parquet. We use Parquet because basically Parquet is um, very compatible in compression with Apache Spark
Mm-hmm.
because the
Okay.
processing will be done in the Apache Spark. So basically, the formula is to process the data as faster as possible. So that's why the Parquet format is used in our project.
So how you validate the data? Because let us say in source there are, let's take one table. In source there are 15 thousands records. So you are doing an incremental load and appending or updating records into your target folder or a directory or a file. So how will you know that whether the 15,000 records got imported or not? How will you do this check?
So basically, this is done on the base of like the schema the customer have sent us, like the number of columns, mandatory columns, non-null columns, and date format like that. So they have sent us, and based on these checks they have sent to us, we do the validation. And if in case the some of the data is not correct, so we request the client to send the data in correct format as that has been like discussed during the
No, my
initial.
question is simple. I'm not asking about the schema. I'm asking about the number of records. How will you decide or how will you know that the total number of records which you received are matching with the total records which they sent?
Actually, I forgot.
Okay,
I'm
no problem.
getting it right.
No problem. Since you are using Hive, right? So why you are using Spark again?
Hive is to get the data into the structural format, and then basically the Hive, the execution engine in Hive is by default is MapReduce. So MapReduce as compared to execution MapReduce and Spark, there is lots of difference in MapReduce and Spark. Spark has in memory computation and is lot much faster than MapReduce. So that's why we are processing in Spark.
So to process in Spark, why we need Hive tables? We can take the directly files from Hadoop and process it and again send back to HDFS, right? Why should we use Hive there?
So this is as per project is going on. So in our
Yeah, yeah,
project there,
understood. But being a developer, first of all,
yes,
we have to know the necessity of each and every tool, correct?
yes, yes,
Okay. So are you aware Hive Metastore?
yes, I have Metastore.
What is the difference between, I mean, what are the different types of Hive Metastores are available by default?
By default, Hive Metastore is Derby,
Mm-hmm.
but we can use other different metastores such as MySQL, NoSQL, or others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or PG SQL.
Why? Why we should use RDBMS as a Metastore storage? Why not HDFS? Because Hive is on top of HDFS, right? Why the data is we are loading into HDFS on Hive, and why we are loading or saving this metadata on Metastore on
Metastore.
you can say in RDBMS. Why should we use the RDBMS? You're getting me? My question?
Yes, yes, I'm getting your question.
Why Hive is depending on any RDBMS like PostgreSQL, my SQL Server or MySQL? Why Hive is depending on that to store metadata?
Store metadata. Um,
Fine. Do you know the difference between Hive remote Metastore and local Metastore?
so in remote Metastore, basically, um, like remotely anyone can log in, but in the other one, local Metastore, only the person who have access to the the Hive on the machine itself can access the Metastore.
When we use what?
No idea, sir.
Any idea?
No idea, sir.
Okay. Okay. So can you please give me a syntax to create a Spark object or a Spark session,
Uh,
whatever you call it as?
mhm, mhm.
How
So,
to create a Spark session?
if I come to the Spark session, um, basically Spark is equal to Spark session dot builder dot master. We have to specify anyone that we are using. Basically, in our case, Yan dot app name. That is the name we have to give to our app. Basically, any name dot get or create.
Why should we create a Spark session or Spark object, first of all?
Because uh, basically to um, initiate the Spark context, the Spark driver.
That's what my question is like, why should we do that? Without that, can't we execute a Spark program? You got my point, right?
Yes, yes.
Why should we use a Spark object or a Spark session?
Um,
Right, no problem. So when you create a Spark job, right? So how you submit a Spark job?
uh, Basically, Spark Spark submit. You're asking about the command.
Yes, it's command to submit a Spark job.
So basically, Spark hyphen submit and hyphen master the URL and the basically we give the driver memory, executor memory, and executor cores, and then the file that we have to execute basically with our Spark job.
How will you decide this number of cores or number of executors and its memory in Spark?
Um, so number of cores and executors basically. Uh,
Let us say
uh,
let us say we can say 1024 MB file. Okay,
mhm,
you want to
mhm.
process. How will you decide number of executors, number of cores, or driver memory, executor memory? How exactly you will suggest?
Basically, based on the partition size and the block size.
Just give me the figures. I know what you are trying to explain. I just want to know the what are the number of executors or codes or a memory for each I know executor.
Mm,
If I give you a 1 GB of file, so
Mhm.
how will you provide a parameters or a configuration um, to execute those?
Sir, I've not done the calculation, but I can say that we use the offset, leaving one extra core and executor for the system processes.
Hmm. So you are aware, right? So when we submit any Spark application or a Spark job, generally we have to mention all these parameters, right?
Y- Yes, yes,
So these parameters will be calculated based on the data which you are going to process, right?
yes.
So as a developer, we should aware, based on the timelines that we supposed to execute, we have to
Mhm.
decide all
Okay,
these parameters to
okay,
execute a Spark job.
okay,
Agree?
okay. Agree.
Right. Okay. So what are the transformations you made in your project by using Spark?
So, transformations is basically partitioning and bucketing, and repartition and coalesce basically. I would say, or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I would
Okay.
say
So,
cache and persist.
mhm. Do you know shared variable?
Shared variable. Uh,
Are you aware? Shared variables.
yes, I'm not getting that into my mind right now.
Acha. Okay. No problem. So what exactly your roles and responsibilities in your project?
So basically, I have worked on Hive only, like creating the internal and external tables, and uh, like uh, n- worked under my superiors.
So since you have been working last 3 years, so how many projects that you have worked, including
So,
your current project?
so one project was before this, and now we are working on the second project.
Okay. So totally two projects so far, correct?
Yes, yes.
What was your previous project? What exactly tools that in that project you have used?
So same tools, I would say. That was basically the customers' transactional data, depends upon the credit transactions and debit transactions and something like that.
You mean the same project or similar project?
Similar project. It was similar project.
Mm-hmm. So how will you create a Spark, Spark job actually? Where you will create? Are you use any IDE to create a jar file and submit, or what exactly? Where you will write up your code?
Basically, Jupyter notebooks or the IDE, the PyCharm.
Can you please let me know the steps how to create a Spark job by using PyCharm?
So basically, we have to create uh, a Python file, and then we have to input the data. First of all, we have to uh, as a landing area, we have to input the data, and then we have to basically validate the data as well, and then uh, basically from a landing area um, to validation area.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is the team size?
Team size is basically 10 members.
All right. I think I'm done. You have any questions?
No, just Nothing, your feedback.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm a bit
okay.
nervous. Sorry.
Why you are nervous?
Don't know. I have no idea. Don't know. I'm a little bit nervous.
See, don't feel like that. Okay. First of all, I know you before these interviews as well. So there you're so much different, and now here is you're different, right? And that
Yeah.
difference you don't do, because why it is coming is because of uh, you are losing your confidence. First of all, you have to have a confidence on you that you are missing. Okay.
Okay.
And I guess you should do more and more hands-on projects. Okay. I
Okay.
think you didn't involve much on your project.
Yeah.
Some questions you are able to answer, some questions you are not. And I
Yeah.
most of the questions I asked are practical related, who, only person who has a practical experience can able to answer those questions.
Yeah.
Okay. And very very important questions, one of the questions that you didn't answer is like a spark object. Why should we create a spark object? That is
Mm.
a very very important, like what is the spark session versus spark context. Okay, so you just to google it, you come to know that is a minimum expected question, right? So
Yes.
you should you should aware the functionality of the tool that you are using, right? Otherwise
Yeah.
it is bit difficult, and you can go through this video again. Your
Mm-hmm.
communication is also lagging, right? Number of times you are using basically. Okay, that you
Okay.
are using only when to if you don't know something instantly, you are using that word. Ideally
Okay.
your like communication skills are pretty good, I know. Previously I listen, and but here it's lacking, right? So that you have to concentrate. When you watch this
Okay.
video, then you come to know where are your underperformance, right?
Okay.
So, and just seeing your resume is also needs to be modified. What you have to
Okay.
do better, you go and search resumes, big data engineer resumes in Naukri or any equivalent job portals
Okay.
for 3 to 5 years experience, and you will get a lot of resumes, right? You just go through
Okay.
what exactly they written. Okay,
Okay.
and take
Okay.
a few profiles and understand, and then if some of the points are very much related to you, then pick that and update your resume accordingly and show it to
Okay.
me later. Okay,
Okay.
but whatever the
Okay.
resume is not a proper shape, and
Okay.
also the 2 or 3 pages you return, might be you written well, but not completely 100%, right?
Okay.
So you reframe all the sentences, and you come to know when you say others resume, right? So better
Okay.
utilize that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And Hive, since you are using Hive extensively, you should have an in and out about the Hive. Um, I have asked several questions. You please watch this video again and try to search answers in Google or YouTube. If you
Okay.
get it, it is fine. If not, anyway, we have a session every weekend, right? So
Yes.
better
Yes.
you ask some of the questions. Whatever you are not so clear, I will try to
Okay.
answer it.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. Okay.
So, but you should be a very perfect. That will come only when you do minimum 2 demo projects,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
With your own.
So
Then only you will get that confident level. Otherwise, it is very difficult. And you said in the beginning, very rare that you have a every week, jobs. That too, e-commerce. Generally, e-commerce, as per my knowledge, generally they used to process the data daily or hourly, right?
okay. Okay. Okay.
So they don't do weekly. What is the use of weekly? Because they want to know the transaction summary, right? Every week or every hour. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Do you remember? Let us say we have a big billion day, right? After
Yes. Yes.
completing the big billion day, immediate second or a minute, they will announce some results. We sold these many items.
Yes. Yes. They
We
do.
right,
They do.
right. How it will do? Because that much speed they are able to process the data. Agree?
Yes. Agree. Agree.
So e-commerce, when you say e-commerce, your insights or your project is also in line with that requirement, right?
Okay.
So there is no matching at all. In the beginning itself, I know that you don't have the practical experience, I can say. Getting me?
Okay.
You
Okay.
should not give that chance to interviewer,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
To do so, you should have a background work, strong background work, and do a hands-on projects and
And
get a command on the theory. Okay, all the interview
okay.
questions and all.
Okay.
Okay, work hard for next couple of months. I'm sure you will be, good enough in that area. I can say now, I if ask me if because I didn't ask any SQL questions, any Python questions so far. Correct?
Yes, you did not.
I don't want to
Yes,
ask
correct.
because if I decide that you are not meeting our expectations in the beginning itself, why should I continue interview,
Got your point,
right?
sir. Got your point.
See, if it is a real time interview, right, I would have closed within 10 to 15 minutes itself. But
Okay.
purposefully, I continue this interview to give you a feedback and where you are lagging, which areas that you have to focus, right?
Uh-huh.
So that is the purpose. I just continued this video for up to some extent, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
don't worry. Um, I can say you are ready only up to 40% out of 100%. You should
Okay.
you should get minimum 70% to 80% ready before you attempt any interview. All right.
Okay.
Better luck next
Okay.
time. Request again this mock interview, right?
I will do that.
Um, Later 1 month or 2 months down the line, no problem.
Okay. Okay.
But that time you have to perform well and show the difference.
Okay. No, I will at that time I will come in the mock interview by doing some practical projects.
Very good. Very good.
Then everything
Uh,
will be clear to me that what I have done, how I have done, what was the requirement, and what we did.
Yes. So
Yeah.
solve as many as questions in internet on SQL, Python, and Spark and Hive. Right. Meanwhile, don't sit up because though you are good at projects, if you
Mm.
are lagging explaining a theoretical concept, that is also one of the biggest disadvantage. Okay.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
should be strong enough in a theory concepts also. Right.
Okay. Okay.
What is pair RDD? Why should we create RDD? How to convert RDD to data frame? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
What is the delta tables? Okay. Why should we use different file formats? Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what are the shared variables? And what are
Okay.
the performance techniques? These and all I didn't touch it at all. Correct? I have so many
Yes. Correct.
questions in my mind,
Correct.
but I didn't continue. Right?
Yes. Because I was not
No
able to
problem. I
answer
think.
basic questions
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
I know. You are under pressure. I understood. But since this, that is the reason I strongly recommend you to attend a mock interview so that you
Mm.
get to know where you are exactly, so that you don't lose a chance when you get a actual, correct?
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So this is a good platform, I can say, utilize it and improve yourself and get a job.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for the feedback, sir. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, then
Thank.
take care. Huh? Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.